Hello.
Hi, welcome in. I didn't see you come in.
Oh, yeah, I kind of snuck in through the vent shafts. I'm pretty scrawny, pretty small. I can fit through there pretty easily, but
Well, that's great. I wasn't quite open yet. I'm actually just in here
well,
uh kind of like it's like a tea I'm making, but it's like a benzo
mm,
tea.
oh,
Uh
sure.
but no, you can feel free to talk while it steeps.
Yeah, of course. No, I figured like what difference does it make if my, session start time is at 6 p.m. I might as well roll up at about 10 in the morning and just kind of pop my head in. I mean, really, it's a bit of an emotional emergency because I've been struggling with a kind of internal conflict, I guess you could say.
Okay. No, that sounds like it couldn't wait. What's the conflict?
Well, it has to do with, you know, I really don't want to, you know, uh, it puts me in a kind of sad and difficult position when
Mhm.
I'm discounting the work of a woman, uh, and kind of uplifting the work of uplifting the work of a man kind of in her stead. Um,
Mm.
but I
You're
think,
talking about Jennifer Kent, right? Director of The Babadook and some other movies that weren't good.
well, no, but that's part of my sort of guilt complex, my survivor's guilt, my self misogyny, my self hating, impulse, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, is this about Emma Tammy, director of The Wind, and now she's directing the Five Nights at Freddy's
No,
movie?
no, no, no. Listen, I all I want to do is uplift women and women storytellers, and I love them more than anything.
Hmm.
But I just think that Anna Lily Amirpour owes Pavel Pogorzelski a debt of gratitude for pulling the wool over America's eyes over Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon being something more than what it is. Boom!
Boom. Did he also work on her other movie? Not the
No,
one that got canceled. I mean, it came out, but it got canceled.
right.
The not racist one. The
Sure,
vampire
sure.
movie. I'll Walk Home Alone at Night. Did he work on that one as well?
No, no, but I'll tell you what he did work on. Uh, every Ari Aster film.
Oh,
He is
that's
the
why the movie looked so good.
yes, yes, exactly, exactly, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
I
saying. Because
I
not a lot really happens in this film, other than Kate Hudson being spectacular. I mean, like, let's be real.
That was Kate Hudson. I can't believe I didn't recognize her.
It's crazy. She's fantastic. She's
She really disappears into that role,
oh yeah,
which
absolutely.
is which is impressive because there's not a lot of role to disappear into in that movie.
Yeah. Uh. So I don't know. It's a little sad. It's a little depressing because it's this kind of like Harmony Korine Spring Breakers vibe attached to something created by a director of promise, a director of
Mhm.
of some would say extreme promise. Uh,
Probably one of the quintessential like exciting new voices on the scene directors
sure, yeah,
when Girl Walks Home Alone at Night came out.
yes, absolutely. So it's it's a little bit of a disappointment that this movie is. It's a little bit one trick pony ish. I kind of got bored of the sort of stakes and like the how A led to B led to C and like this and that. I don't know. It just it underwhelmed me. And I didn't think that the characters were like I didn't fall for them in the way that I would in like a Harmony Korine film.
I
Uh,
I was gonna say that the film felt like it was trying to do like a Safdie Brothers or like Harmony Korine, like kind of scumbaggy
Yeah.
film, but like without either depth or caricature.
Yes.
I think that's the strangest thing about the film is that they're not even caricatures, because caricatures have like traits that are consistent from scene to scene.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, it I don't want to say I minded that so much, but it just didn't have the movie didn't have like a central sort of through line or a central sort of backbone that was like strong and like fundamentally interesting. It was just kind of like this character has special powers, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened.
Yeah,
Uh,
it really is just kind of a sequence of events. You know, maybe if we go over the events, we can find something. I find that going over events with women artists sometimes really helps you appreciate the events.
the events in and
Um,
of themselves.
so the movie opens and it's beyond the Black Rainbow.
Oh yes, of course.
And then she gets outside and she meets some skaters, and they're hanging out outside an insane asylum.
I kind of liked that scene.
I
Oh,
liked that scene that had me, had me interested,
yeah,
piqued my interest.
because
Um,
that's it. It felt it. That was kind of the most that the movie felt like it was interested in presenting like these kind of three-dimensional sort of like realized real life realize characters uh in the sense
because
that like they weren't just like stereotypically antagonistic or it wasn't boring basically.
I think it's because it starts with we get a sense of who the first two characters in the film are.
Yeah,
One is disposable, but we get still like a vague sense of like, okay, she's a trope.
right.
The nurse who's like, this is such bullshit. I have to take care of you, but no one takes care of me. I'm gonna take it out on you.
Yeah,
And then the security guard who's also just kind of like blood fodder. And then so there's this character, and it's like, oh, there's this mystery. Who's this character? What's
right.
gonna happen? What's gonna happen next? And then
Right.
she gets outside, and we meet these characters, and they're fun, but you get a sense of their like dynamic like really quickly. There's the butters of the friend group. There's the chick who's just like, oh, this is sick. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna enable you because it's gonna cause problems for someone who isn't me.
Yeah, yeah.
They feel like real characters. And then she like leaves that scene, and I think she goes to a store and she meets a guy who tries to fuck her, but then later is like not a fucking psycho creep, even though we meet him and he's trying to fuck a girl who's like basically nonverbal and in a straitjacket. Um,
Yeah.
and then there's a cop who's like really invested in this mystery now. Uh, and then she meets Kate Hudson, who's like hard up for money. And you're like, all right, that's going to be like the conflict, the tension between the two characters. But then, like, that's kind of it. Like, that you never really learn anything else about her character. She's got a Jersey accent, but she lives in New Orleans.
Right.
Um, she has a kid. They meet the kid at some point. She finds out that Mona Lisa can do mind control and is like, use that to give me a lot of money at my strip club, which actually kind of backfires in a way that's like immediately obvious the way it's going to backfire. Um,
Yeah, yeah. The other girls are immediately like
Mad at her
mad.
because she took all the money, and also like everyone leaves because they're like, and as they're leaving, they're telling people, "Don't go into that strip club."
Yeah.
Because we got hypnotized and we're forced to give away all our money.
Yeah.
And it seems like she works on a street where there's a lot of strip clubs. So it seems pretty easy that something like that would get around pretty quickly and people would stop going to it. Really, it seems like a trick you can do once.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. I mean, it's a hard thing to
And then the
critique.
movie ends.
Well, yeah, it just kind of ends. I mean, that's the biggest critique, right? Is that it doesn't feel fulfilling, and it's a hard thing to critique because it's not like it's necessarily like a poorly written movie on its face. I think it kind of like veers into corniness in some places, but like it's more just like an overall kind of uncohesiveness and lack of follow through and like maintained interest in in what's going on, because I don't know, the superpower it just got repetitive for me.
Yeah, it's never expanded on.
Uh-huh.
And also she really only uses it for like one thing after like the big thing in the film, which is getting away from being arrested
Yeah.
or getting money.
Yeah. Or,
So
getting in trouble in some
yeah,
capacity.
um yeah, no, the stakes are just never really there.
Right.
There's just no stakes to the film. Nothing happens.
Well, speaking of stakes, uh yeah, I had that thing. You ever have that thing where you're like thinking of a director and you hear like a rumbling in the back of your, in your somewhere in your nervous system, that you like there was some headlines or something
Yeah.
about somebody, essentially.
Mhm.
And I had remembered before this episode to kind of like look up Anna Lily Armpour and remember the sort of like Twitter snafu where she kind of got confronted at a Q&A over racism, allegedly in her film The Bad Batch.
Yes. If I remember, it was like specifically the only like black characters in the film are like a black mom who gets murdered for her kid to be kidnapped.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I the reason I can't speak too much on that, well, there are multiple reasons. Some are obvious. The less obvious ones being, I tried to watch The Bad Batch as a kind of research for this episode.
Yeah.
And within the first 15 minutes of the film, well, really the first thing that happened was I saw Shane Smith's name in the producer credits, and like, and that was strike one, and strike two, which was also strike three at the same time, was when Jason Momoa's character showed up. They played a Deontward song. So I don't know if that movie's racist, and I'll never know because I had to shut it off immediately. I had to hit the fucking eject button, and I had to like I had to take a walk. We're in that perfect exact window right now where I'm looking back on the 2010s, and this same shit happened when it was like 2012, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, damn, the 2000s was really nothing. And my thinking has evolved, but right now I'm feeling, wow, the 2010s culturally was a dead zone.
It's
A
really
horror
impressive
show.
how everything you just said in a row was like a Simpsons gag of like the kids screaming more and more with like each new event that occurs.
Literally.
That is so insane. That is so funny and so insane at the same time.
Yeah.
God, they let Day Antwoord make like a movie, like a whole ass movie.
Chappie! Oh, yes, Chappie!
That's Chappie.
Don't you know it's Chappie, JB hit?
A movie that like literally its biggest cultural impact is a funny tweet that nobody knows anything about the movie except that there's a tweet where a guy says, me seeing the movie Chappie with my girlfriend pointing at the screen. That's Chappie.
That's Chappie. That's him. That's Chappie. Hey, pay attention. Look.
Hey,
that's Chappie.
doing the Leonardo DiCaprio snap finger and point at the screen. That's Chappie.
That's fucking trippy. That's trippy. Okay? If you thought anything else was trippy, it wasn't. Yeah. Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon was better than Chappie.